Have you ever prayed with everything in you and heard nothing back? When life falls apart, when your plans collapse, when your heart breaks, when death knocks, you cry out to God. And yet, silence. No sign, no answer, nothing. But what if that silence means something? What if the silence of God is not absence, but something deeper? Today, we explore one of the most haunting and profound questions of faith: the silence of God. Part 1. The experience of silence. Let's get honest. Life doesn't always play out like a feel-good sermon. A young mother in Texas prays daily for her husband fighting cancer. He dies anyway. A college student in New York struggles with depression, cries out to God for peace, but still wakes up feeling empty. A man in Chicago loses his job, then his home. He begs for help, and hears only silence. This isn't just emotional, it's spiritual confusion. We grow up hearing, God is love, God listens, God provides. So when He doesn't speak, it feels like betrayal. But what if we're misunderstanding what silence really is? Part 2. What the Bible says about God's silence. The Bible, ironically, is full of people who felt abandoned by God. Psalm 22:1. My God, why have you forsaken me? These are the same words Jesus cried out from the cross. Even Mother Teresa, the symbol of compassion, wrote in her letters that for decades she felt nothing but darkness inside. And yet, they all stayed. They didn't quit on faith, because maybe God's silence doesn't mean He's gone. Maybe it means He's doing something deeper. Part 3. The hidden purpose in silence. Here's a perspective you don't hear often. Silence is not the absence of activity. It's often the preparation for something bigger. When you plant a seed, it disappears into the soil. For weeks, you see nothing, just dirt. But underground, something's happening. Growth you can't see yet. Maybe God's silence isn't punishment. Maybe it's process. Imagine a teacher during a test. They don't speak because it's time for you to show what you've learned. God may go silent, not because He's left you, but because He's letting you grow. Part 4. Real story, from silence to clarity. Let me tell you about James, a real guy from Detroit. He lost his daughter in a car crash. She was only 19. I asked him to give her back, but I heard nothing. Not even peace. For 2 years, James didn't go to church, didn't pray, he was done. But then slowly, through grief groups, strangers, music, something shifted. He didn't hear God's voice in thunder, but in small whispers, in comfort, in service, in his own healing. He now runs a nonprofit for parents who've lost children. James says, maybe God wasn't talking because He was listening, and maybe healing me quietly. Part 5. Why silence might be sacred. Silence forces us to wrestle, and wrestling builds depth. When God is silent, we're invited to ask deeper questions. Is my faith built only on answers? Can I still trust when I don't feel anything? Am I willing to walk by faith, not by sight? Silence is not rejection. Silence is space. Space to grow, to question, to build real, grounded, unshakable faith. Because real faith is not proven in miracles, it's proven in the silence. Conclusion. If you're in a season where heaven feels quiet, don't walk away. Stay. Because silence isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of something deeper, something eternal. And sometimes the most loving thing God can say is nothing at all.